step on the ball, right? Now, when we step on the ball, everyone read the pressure. So if they drop back into a zone, you need a pivot, right? So drop back into a zone, it's 3-1-1, a line of 3 back there, options right and left. The goalkeeper steps up. That creates a free man, and the pivots step in, right? So we can start with, first thing, 1, they're in a zone, so it's 1, 2, 3. There's no need for a triangle against a zone. Triangles for a press, right? So one player draws back, one player draws back, right? This player comes wide, that'll be the free man. This player drops, maybe not so far back, but kind of drops, right? And then there's a line of control, 1, 2, 3. So the goalkeeper steps up, 1, 2, 3. And when the line of control is established, there's got to be at least one pivot on one of their defenders. So you see how these 1, 2, 3 guys are open, right? So first thing we do recognize, it's zone defense or zone squeeze, right? So if it's zone defense, they're kind of sitting back there. Line of control, post up, maybe post up here, post up there. I want at least 2 post ups, because we have 3 pivots. We can even go 3 pivots. Pivot, 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 pivot. So we could put a pivot there, pivot here, or we could put 3 pivots here, pivot, 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 right? And leave this guy to the line of control, right? But again, it could even be a 4-0. So we could pull 4 guys back in a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, with the free man, right? And then do touch and go out of the back, right? We could do velocity attack, try and create an artificial counterattack by dribbling on the protected foot to the next lane, and then passing on the protected foot to the next lane, and then switching protected feet. So this guy could dribble, one guy could come here, collect, dribble hard right, pass to this player here, would be the free man, onto their left foot. They dribble hard left, which means they got passing options right and pivots on the left, right? When the pivots drop into the midfield in numbers, that opens up space over here. Or we can start with positional play, your normal 4-3-3, right? When you play positionally in a 4-3-3, you got to pass the ball quickly and then rotate. So the ball's with the goalkeeper. Step on it, calm down, right? Realize, oh, it's a zone. If it's a zone, line of control. And then we start adding pivots. So if you feel like this player is not going to go, you might want to post up there, right? And then Mason or Zach, whoever the false 9 is, even Eric, pivot, 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 right? Pivot. We do have 3 pivots, right? Now, so if the goalkeeper doesn't feel comfortable coming up, you guys step back, and now you created the free man, because they always had pretty much dedicated 5 or 4 guys back here. Let's say they had a dedicated 4, right? And then right, we can put the free man there. So this could be Christian, right? So we got to drop, almost like when we were playing with almost like when we were playing with more freeform, right? No positions. We kind of created that gap in the midfield and dropped into it. So you see where we had to drop into the gap. We can't leave it like this. All right. So if it's zone, 3-1-1, right? And then one player to the ball. But you're going to have a free man here, you're going to have a free man here because the goalkeeper's up. Right? So then bump, bump, and then through. And if you play positionally, you see how this doesn't happen. If you kind of play positionally, right? They spread out, we spread out, and all that's available is feet. This guy gets his head up when he sees the ball, and all he sees is either whites or blacks blocking him everywhere, right? Whereas if you drop, and then they kind of come in like that because they're shy about the goalkeeper's right foot, right? They come in like that. And now the question is, they're not going to be able to send two, right? Because they have to completely reorient. So they're sending one, and they're not really sending him. So now it's a zone. So you can even keep, step on the ball, hold it, right? Or you can drive this way and create the line of control that way, and then the pivot steps, or the pivot steps and the second pivot steps, and then the free man drops, right? And the free man drops. And then you have outlet here and here if you want to too, right? So build a line of control, put the ball in between the two line players. So Jimbo can go here. Now they're going to press. He passes there. He goes, right? Because he's now the third man. He's the blind side. Whenever the ball's heading away from you in the line of control, you're now the third man. He shows, right? There's going to be a free man. There's going to be a free man. And he keeps going. And he won't be tracked. And you can see how the midfield kind of opens up as opposed to being playing purely positionally. I'm not saying it's wrong to play positionally, but, right, like we got to read. There's a read available, right? If they're pressing, right, with one, then our triangle goes around, right? And the pivot drops in, and then everyone else can kind of, and we'll still have free men, right? But, right, we don't need to go long there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. So you can kind of see these massive passing lanes develop. They just need to be babysat, right? So that passing lane is there. We just need a babysitter right there, and maybe a babysitter right there, right? And then drive the ball. So the ball's with the goalkeeper.